Are you ready to teach teamwork in your chemistry lab and just not sure what to do? Hello, my name is Dr. Esther Trufan, and I've been teaching and assessing teamwork in my chemistry labs for over 10 years at the university level. This is what I do on the very first day of my classes with my students to make sure that they are prepared to effectively collaborate during the semester. All these resources that I describe are available to you on the experimentium.org website. Go to Instructor Resources, Teamwork Resources, and download any of the Icebreaker case study activities. There are lots of them, and this is my method for selecting the case study that I'm using for my class. Every semester, before the semester begins, I am notified if there are students with disabilities in my classroom. If so, I want to give them a very early opportunity to advocate for their needs to be met in a non-judgmental, respectful, and productive class environment. If so, I will choose a case study in which a student with a disability is represented in a way that will generate class conversation and provide the opportunity for those students to advocate for their needs, even as they do not disclose any of their accessibility needs to their colleagues. The other consideration is simply the many issues that can bother both the students and the instructors during the semester. Sometimes when you have students who work a lot and are very busy, there may be communication issues because they may be disconnected from their class activities and maybe not so responsive to their colleagues who are very motivated to obtain an A in the class. Well, in those cases, I don't want to lecture and tell them what they should be doing. I want them to come to that conclusion on their own and find a balance that works for their team. So I will pick a case study that demonstrates that dynamic that irked me in the previous semester. So what does this look like? Well, once I selected my case study from the website, I may want to tinker and edit it to suit my purposes. I will print a copy for each student in the classroom and take it with me on the first day of classes. I will give each student a copy and provide them with the opportunity to read it and contemplate about it for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on when I start seeing student heads look at me again. Once the students read the case study and answered the question at the end of it, then I ask them to identify the person they thought was most responsible for the failed dynamic in the class. At that point, they will self-select into teams, and I will give each team about 15 minutes or so to build their case for why the student they identified in the story was the most responsible and had the worst behavior. At that point, upon the conclusion of the exercise, one person from each team will present the team argument, and I ask the students if they change their mind upon hearing the many rationales for various students to be responsible. After that, I acknowledge that we're all human, we're all fallible, and we can make mistakes. We could get busy, something could happen, but it is very important for the success of our team that we communicate every distraction or every obstacle effectively, and we make plans to overcome any challenges that may arise. After that, I will randomly assign students in teams, and they are ready to engage with each other meaningfully and draft the team constitution. How to implement that team constitution will be the theme of our next video.